Luna Michaels, Esoteric Astrologer, and I am here today to talk to you about the sign of Cancer and the esoteric nature of the sign of Cancer. And you know, this could apply to you whether your sun sign is in Cancer or even if your moon sign is in Cancer. Could also be your rising sign or ascending sign. Also, if you have a strong moon sign in your chart, that could be a moon at the ascendant, the bottom of the chart, next to a bunch of planets, or even if the moon was right near Pluto or, you know, a powerful planet like that, you're going to be more Cancerian oriented. So some of these things would apply to you even if you're not a sun sign in Cancer. But in esoteric astrology, well, first of all, in basic astrology, you probably know that Cancer is ruled by the moon. You might say, oh, I'm a moon child. Some people say when they're Cancer sun sign. In esoteric astrology, we have different rulerships for most of the signs. Cancer is actually in esoteric astrology ruled by Neptune. So I want to talk to you a little about kind of moving from that moon sign type energy, or the moon energy, into the Neptune energy, which is kind of a higher development for the sign of Cancer. One of the things, the moon definitely represents emotions. Neptune represents intuition. And so there's a few things for Cancer's spiritual steps for you guys to work on. One is, you know, really mastering the emotions. You have strong emotions of your own. You can get into other people's emotions, other people's emotional dramas. People have probably always depended on you to be able to, you know, they could call you up and say whatever their story is, and you can get caught up in it with them. And this is a struggle when you're on a spiritual path to, first of all, for you to learn about observing your own emotional responses and being able to have more control over them. You know, sadness, mostly sadness for Cancer, and worry. Cancers aren't so prone to being into the anger stuff, but can get really drawn into, you know, the sad story. And instead of maybe meditating to see what is the lesson in this and how can I overcome this cycle, because usually Cancers will find themselves in the same kind of emotional situation over and over again, even with different people. So to be able to find out what that spiritual lesson is for you, to be able to overcome that. Another thing is just daily meditation, or at least regular meditation, can help you to learn to be a bit more above your emotions, to be able to observe them and not be carried away with emotions. You know, now, an interesting thing is if you are trying to work like that, it makes changes in your life, you know, especially with family. Cancers are very much about the family and also about your history of friends, which can almost seem family-like. So it can be challenging when you start meditating and observing yourself and observing your emotions and thoughts, and people will feel that you're different. And that may feel almost like a betrayal to them. You know, that the sister wants to call and say the story, you know, the friend wants to call and tell you about the bad relationship or whatever, and you're not as engaged. It doesn't mean that you are shut down. It's more that you're moving into like a higher form of love. We talk about the moon moving into Neptune. Neptune is about unconditional love, but it's not about stuck in the muck, you know. So you might find that, and to say to yourself, this is a higher form of love to my friends, to my family, to be able to hear really what the core is in the situation and maybe be able to help them better, but not to be as enmeshed in it with them, because that really isn't serving you and it's not serving them either. So you're going to find a different way of relating to people, but some people won't like that. And that can be hard for you as a Cancer, because you are very heartfelt, whether you're ruled by the moon or Neptune. That's one of like the spiritual hurdles to get over, to say, you know, the relationship is going to change. They're probably going to be a bit uncomfortable around me for a while, but they're going to soon get used to the new me, and the new you that can really support them and give them real answers and real guidance instead of just, oh yeah, that stinks, you know. Also in the esoteric belief system of astrology, it wasn't good English, but since we are using different metaphors and stuff in esoteric astrology, the vision for Cancer is the lighted house, so that you become this energy, this beacon that people can trust you to be supportive emotionally and to be consistent. And that's one of the things when you are in the basic type of being a Cancer in basic astrology, you can get really feel inconsistent a lot. But as you move into that more higher level, you find yourself more consistent and supportive, again, to yourself and to other people. Now, another function we need to talk about is transmuting other people's emotions. And this can happen just, let's say you go to the bank, and you can be a millionaire. You go to the bank and there's a bunch of people there who are worried about finances. And you come out of the bank and you're feeling really anxious, you know, and you think, why am I feeling so anxious? I'm a rich person. But what's happening is you took on those people's fears, even without knowing that you did it or wanting to or speaking to them at all. You know, you might even notice that if you have someone you love and you say, oh, I feel fine, then you're around them and you get a headache, and then they say, gee, I have a headache. And that can be a way of transmuting. That's more of a physical transmuting. But something to remember about emotions, whenever you feel you suddenly get, you feel off suddenly, and you've been around saying, where have I been? You know, could this be someone else's emotions that I'm experiencing? And then you need some time in meditation to like lift that up, maybe see it just coming off of you, or almost like a shower is going over you and that's washing down the drain. But that is something that Cancers can get caught in, because they're so, you know, as you're moving into that more evolved part of yourself, all things to deal with emotions are going to be little tripwires for you. And you can think, gosh, you know, I've been meditating, I'm doing so great, why do I feel so down? So, well, are you sponging the energy into yourself from other people and say, okay, this is transmuting. I'm going to just let it go, you know, and know that you you took some emotional pain away from those people. I've got some notes here that looks like I'm looking down. I want to talk a little about moving into being more of that Neptune-ruled Cancer. As you develop that intuition, daily meditation is very important, or at least consistent meditation, because it will take some courage, like I say, because you will have that change that people will notice in you. And to continue moving forward and growing can make you feel somewhat alone, and that also would be helpful. Cancers are very into groups, so if you can find a group of people that also believe in spiritual evolution, that would be real important for you, to feel like you have a spiritual family, because in a lot of ways you feel like you don't fit into your family anymore, you don't fit into your group of friends anymore. I mean, they can still be around and you're a part of them, but it feels like something's becoming more different. And as you meditate more, it seems more and more different, and that could hold you back to say, oh, you know, I'm going to lose everybody. And it's important to be around some other people who are evolving in this way, so you feel like you're part of a group. And that could even be maybe a group on the internet that you're reading about and seeing that, you know, there are people doing this and you're not alone. And it doesn't mean you have to leave anyone. You don't have to leave your family, your friends. It's just that you're moving to a different level and you may not be as fully understood. But, you know, hopefully what happens is as you grow, the people around you also grow. And then you can start to connect with them on that deeper level again. Also to say about family karma, I mean, Cancer is one of the major signs of karma. And something to be gentle with yourself about. You know, families have themes that they've all incarnated to work on certain themes sometimes. And you know, that some of those issues might be harder to overcome than others. And even as you are meditating and growing and practicing these ideas in your life, there's just some topics that kind of roll around again. You know, it could be, I don't know, if your family had a history of depression, or there was body image issues. That's a big thing for cancers too, and eating. It's like you're working through overcoming that, the family karma that it would be your theme in life, and to be patient with yourself, making steps to overcome those things, but know that sometimes when you are under pressure, they can come up again, and to just be gentle with yourself about breaking those pieces. And again, to always affirm that you're not going to be leaving these people. You're just leaving the muck, so you can help them, again, being above the mess, and kind of like if you were the first person to reach the top of the mountain, to then be able to pull them up. But you gotta, if you're going up first, you've got to kind of be centered in yourself and then be able to pull them up. So you know that you're always going to be support for them, even if you're not in the, oh my God, how are you going to get up the mountain kind of part of things. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to say about cancers. And remember that, I guess, about that lighted house, that people are going to be more and more drawn to you, and as a spiritual friend, or even asking advice, and to remember that you may have sad stories or sound like they're in a difficulty, but remembering to hold that light for them, and not so much feel pain for them, but to feel what you will also always have compassion, but to say what's the solution for them, and be in that more Neptune part that says what's the highest solution, what can I say to them that's really going to help, or instead of just getting drawn into it. So people will be coming around. And then because they're coming around, you do need to have your boundaries. I think that's always a constant for cancers, to be able to say enough's enough, or gee, we've talked about this problem a lot, and I don't know if I can say anything more to you, but let me think about it and get back to you in a few days. Instead of feeling like, oh no, they're starting to, flood me with all this energy, and I'm, I can't get away. You need to be able to say, I've had enough. That sounds a little harsh, but let's stop talking about it, and we can connect again, and assuring them you'll come back with an answer when you're refreshed. And to make sure you have time for yourself. Eating well is so important for cancers, no matter what part of the spiritual path you're on. Taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, because that's so important as a theme for cancers always. Getting enough sleep, having a nice environment, a clean environment. Let me say one other thing that I do want to say, is that cancers tend to be clutter people, and it's real important to consistently declutter your house, releasing the past, because as you're releasing the old papers, the old clothes, the old pots and pans, whatever it is, you're releasing old parts of yourself. So challenge yourself to keep things neat, and to keep the things that are necessary. You probably always have your nostalgic keepsakes and things, but to try to really let go of the jeans are totally with the holes in them, or that are never going to fit you again, or the pan with the burned bottom. It's like, let that stuff go. It's amazing if you go through your house, you see how much there is to throw away when you're a Cancer. So you're knowing that's a symbol of letting go of the old and letting new energy into you. So I think with that, I've said enough. And you can email me if you have other questions. And just wish you happiness on your spiritual path. And I will be making another video soon and speak to you soon.